cannot do that.
Nice, my first Aberroth kill. Let's go. Definitely misclicked in the middle of that. Holy cow. Well, that's huge. I'm freaking stoked. Let's go. The inevitable.
No.
Null portent.
You can rest now.
Alright, let's do it again. Hello everyone. So, I just did Jewelra and I finally hit my last piece of equipment. So I want to talk about the final version of this build, where we're at. I'm pretty excited. Basically, I finished all my gearing. As you can see, I have 123 intelligence, so that's 50 more intelligence than when I last made the video. I'm lacking a little bit in resistances, but they're still pretty good. My armor's pretty decent, and I've changed the setup, my skill setup. So I'm going to go through all of it. So let's first talk about the skills. Basically, I was running static for a while. Static's right over here. It's a mage skill. I was running static because I was running double invoker static touch, which gave +1 to static. It seemed very thematic, and in 300 to 400 corruption, where I was at the time, doing a max stack static was really good for damage. It would clear the entire screen. It'd be really fun. So I was running static with teleport, running a free teleport, or a free spell after teleport to cast static. And so I was running that instead of Flame Ward. I replaced it with Flame Ward because once I got to 600-ish corruption, static stopped doing that. So at that point, like, it became better to just cast more Frost Claws, right? So I replaced it with Flame Ward, and I went fully increased the fire damage and then fire damage on spells, and then turned that into lightning, and I'm also giving myself haste. So it's purely just a damage buff thing, and then I'm taking some less damage on hit, but I don't really care that much about the defenses. I'm doing it for the offenses, for like a damage boost. And then, because I no longer need to cast a free spell, I went fully into the stat buff duration. I'm increasing my armor, and then increasing my elemental damage, and that duration is doubled. So that's teleport, and it refreshes my haste, which I get off of Flame Ward. So that's the spell differences, right? Otherwise, Lightning Blast and Frostclaw are the same. I think if I ever wanted to drop Invoker Static Touch, I would probably want to spec more into these ward nodes. But right now I don't have the points for it, so I don't know. I don't think I'll ever do it, honestly. So gear-wise, I don't know if this was there last time. I don't think it was. I got a tier 6 intelligence with tier 4 lightning crit multi, which is really good. All my skills are lightning. I wish I got it to tier 5, but I just ran out of what is it called? Forging potential on the helmet that I was slamming, but it's still pretty good. Strong Mind is absolutely the same. Fragment of the Enigma is the same. Unstable Core is the same. Dragrath's Claw, different. This time it's no longer a defensive one. We got a 2 LP, it put cast speed and armor shred on it. Pretty good. If you look, the crit strike chance base is 3% instead of 4%, so obviously that could have been better, but spell damage is +39, so that's pretty good. I think maybe the base is a little worse than last time, but not that much worse. But the cast speed and armor shred are really good. I wanted to put tier 6 crit multi on there. I missed, but this is still a really good Dragrath's Claw. I replaced one of my Invoker Static Touches with a tier 6 intelligence. I missed, obviously, on the spell damage. I ran out of the forging potential, but it's still pretty good. So this is a decent ring. Same belt, nothing's changed there. Same Invoker Static Touch. I've replaced my relic from a mana relic to an intelligence relic because I have just enough intelligence to stay over that 1,000 mana cap. I've redone most of my idols to have increased mana. So this is almost a max roll, almost a max roll, almost a max roll, and mid roll. So I have enough mana over here. If you look at this one, it says mana efficiency with Frostclaw. That took my Frostclaw down from 48 mana to 42, so still over that 40 mana threshold, so it's pretty good. Same gloves, reduced damage taken on crit strikes. So that's the itemization. Pretty good overall. I could have a better relic. I could maybe have a better Dragrath's Claw, but it took me a lot of time to farm out this Blood of the Exile, which I just slammed. Tier 6 intelligence, max rolled, really good. Plus max rolled on the intelligence down there. So I have been farming for a while to get this build together, right? I think right here, that's 6, 9, 13 Blood of the Exiles that I've farmed up. 14 because there's actually one in the Nemesis. 15 because there's one that I'm wearing right now. I've also farmed up a ton of Bone Claimers, probably like another 10. And luckily I was able to hit my fragments and strong mind and drag rats pretty quickly. But all this is to say that, you know, pulling together builds in CoF takes a decent amount of time, right? I found a lot of good pieces. I'm not saying it's not possible. There was a ton of really fun stuff that was going on. The problem is that Merchant's Guild, you can sort of like get away with only buying like 4, you know, and you just buy them. You just need enough currency to buy maybe like 4 with some LP on it, and then try slamming them, and then you'll probably hit. Or you can even just buy the legendary straight up, right? There's not that much of a need to farm as much as I did in CoF, and you can also like use your farming that gives you items for other builds to fund your current build, right? I have a bunch of items right now that are like 2 LP this, 2 LP that, like 3 legendary potential. Like, look at all of these things, right? Like, I'm not saying all of these will be super worth it, but like a 3 LP Decayed Skull is super good, right? I still want to figure out something to do with it. Some 3 LP belts, a 3 LP catalyst, 3 LP gloves, 3 LP flights, 3 LP 2 of these things. So all I'm saying is that there's a bunch of stuff I'm finding that I can't really use on CoF. But despite that, we were able to get a pretty good build together. This build would obviously be stronger on Merchant's Guild. If you imagine if you had like a tier 7 mana on here, woo-wee! Or if you had like a tier 7 intelligence in any of these slots, like everywhere where I have tier 6, if it was tier 7, like this build would be 10% stronger, 15% stronger, right? Let's say 10%. I don't know if it would actually be 15% stronger. So 10% stronger, right? My defenses, I would probably be sitting at 3k ward naturally. I think when I do my teleport, I get to 3.3. So that could be like even tankier. You know what I'm saying? So there's plenty of room here to grow in Merchant's Guild, but I think for CoF, I'm pretty peaked. I don't know if I'll ever replace this ring, but that is what it is. So let's talk about CoF more, right? So CoF is based around these prophecies. You get all of the rank rewards, you get like a bunch of passive bonuses for finding items, but in order to like get the item you're specifically looking for, you want to get these prophecies. And the prophecies are kind of a problem, right? I want to talk about them. To find the exact prophecies you're looking for, or at least something similar, you want to find prophecies that have the reward you want with a condition that makes sense in a place that makes sense, right? I have another Soulfire Bastion one and just no conditions, right? So you want to stack multiple, let's say Soulfire Bastion conditions with like similar events, right? Maybe it's, maybe some of them are Death of the Fire Lich, maybe some of them are kill rare enemies, and then you want them all to have the same reward, right? So we need a crafting system for prophecies is what I think, where you can craft a specific event, specific condition, specific reward, and it'll cost a certain amount of favor to do it, and then you can add multipliers the way we do right now to add like, there's like more reward or something like that. I think you can do like 80% more items are dropped or 90% more items are dropped or something like that for 90% more cost. So you should be able to do stuff like that. That's what I think prophecies should be. I should be easily able to fill out my prophecy slots, like 24 to 48 of them, all with the same item, just by like crafting. And maybe it should be more expensive because of that. I don't know. But I think the current like system makes crafting prophecies really annoying, and it means you have to go to like a lot of different locations. Like I only have 2 Soulfires. I have 1 Exiled Mage and Monoliths, 1 Majasa, which is whatever, and then 1 with no condition. Basically, I had a bunch that were like related to monoliths, and I consumed them all, which is why I only have 5 right now. But that's like the prophecy system where I think it kind of falters. It takes like 15 minutes for me to get my prophecies together when I'm going back to set them up, and then to go fulfill all my prophecies, it takes like another like couple hours, you know? And for me, as someone with like a full-time job and a bunch of you guys, like I don't think people that play this game are typically older gamers, is my understanding. Like you're not going to get that many kids playing this game. Kids are going to be playing like League of Legends, Fortnite, Valorant, like a bunch of games with their friends. People that like these kind of games tend to be like, oh, you're in college, you're working, you have like things to do in life, right? Which is weird because this takes so much time as a game, right? And CoF does not help with that. Like the amount of time it takes is incredible. So I think all in all, to pull this build together, it probably took me until this point, like 40 hours of empowered monoliths, which is a week of a full-time job. And I started this build like a month ago. I think now it's all coming together. I mean, it came together back then, right? I made the build guide sitting at 400 corruption, 450 corruption, which was essentially like where the build made sense, right? I put it aside. I started working on some other stuff. I came back to it this week after I posted the video, and I saw Frozen Sentinel put a comment on there, so I was super excited to play it more. But basically, that's what there is to say about this. Like, CoF can give you good results. It can't give you best results, like best in slot results, but it can give you good results. It just takes a little bit too much time, I think. And considering that it's like the way to play the game, you know, I think that maybe if it's the default way to play the game, we should like empower it more. I think Merchant's Guild is really strong, and I don't think that should be nerfed at all. I think Merchant's Guild is great where it is. Maybe some UI nerf, or not nerfs, UI changes to make it more intuitive and stuff to search for items. But like, I think Circle of Fortune definitely needs less time to completion. I do admit it does have the added benefits of getting things like red rings. Like, it's possible in Circle of Fortune, right? Where it's not really with Merchant's Guild unless you're like super rich. But I don't think that in itself is like enough of a reason, right? The only people that are going to be hitting red rings are going to be playing the same build for a month straight, and not really playing anything else in between. They're going to be pushing corruption to like 800, 900 corruption. And those, I feel like the people that are playing like that, like even me, I'm playing a lot of this game. Sure, those people are rewarded by this, but the majority of people that want to play the game, like, I think I play the game a lot. And that's how I'm at like the corruption I am at. That's how I've completed a lot of the stuff I've done. But I'm still like mid-level in terms of knowledge of this game, right? The people that are really benefiting from red rings are like really end game, and I don't think enough people are making it to the point that I'm at for this game to be justified in charging so much time. Like not even money to play, just like time to play. I think that's the big loss. So yeah. I just wanted to say that about Circle of Fortune. I think that it's really fun to play and to hit items, but because it takes so much time, it's not super accessible. So, y'all take care. Show me your builds. If I finish Aberroth, I'll put it after this. Otherwise, I'll show some mono clears and stuff. So, hope y'all are having a good day. Peace.